Gonna do a quick video today. Grandmaster, should you get him, should you not? It seems to be a actually controversial, either good or bad card. I'm not going to mention names of some of the people I talked to just because I'll let them say it. I'm of the opinion that this card is mid at best, with a very high ceiling for some potentially what I'd call very cool YouTube thumbnail, short type, YouTube shorts, TikTok type exciting things. That's how I see this card. Is it going to help you win a bunch? I don't know. But there are some other people out there who think it's going to be straight busted. Again, I'm not going to talk about necessarily who some of those people are. We'll see. And I've been wrong about cards before, and I've been right about cards where other people said they were wrong. So we'll see. So for that reason, we're going to cover a number of different things in this video to show you some of the potentials, show you the spotlights, and give our final sort of where we're at with it as far as this card goes. So Grandmaster first is a 2/0. On reveal, move one of your other on reveal cards here to the middle location. Its ability happens again. So long and short of it is, play this on either left or right side. If mid is not full, if mid does not have Cosmo, it will move that card there, and that second card, the card that gets moved there, will do their on reveal again. That's it. So you can play with things that are good on reveal cards that give you additional ways to get power. You can think of things like maybe MODOK, you want to discard things again. But again, that's on turn 6. So maybe you've got Dracula down, etc. Or maybe you've got Mobius down and you've got Swarm in hand. That's a great play. Absolutely. I think that's one of the ways that I think this card is fantastic. Will work well with those discard types. I would look at that for sure. Black Panther, there's talk about the Wong, Black Panther, Ode, and Grandmaster. You will have a gigantic Black Panther mid. But wait a minute. If I've got Black Panther on 5, Odin on 6, that means on 7, I need to, or you've got to ramp somehow. It means on 7, I've got to play Grandmaster and then another 5 somewhere. And if you play Grandmaster on Wong, that means you're only going to have 2 points in that lane. So that means you've got to win the other lane, not mid, for this to work. Okay, you better have a good 5-cost card over there that's going to do something. Otherwise, again, that's a YouTube short, which is super cool, but and a great thumbnail, but not going to be all that exciting. We're going to look at some of the other things that this card could play well with. Right now, just at its surface, we'll see if I can be convinced. Let's see if the spotlights convince us anymore, whether we should pull for this. So we've got a spotlight cache graphic. You can see there's 4 categories: easy skip, good niche, solid, save for. Right now, I've got Grandmaster over here on the right-hand side with Loki and Hitmonkey. Now, obviously, Grandmaster can help with Loki. Well, no, Collector doesn't work anymore, so that doesn't matter. Hitmonkey, sure. Yeah, you get a Hitmonkey out, you move it mid again, it procs again based on multiple cards played with Grandmaster. I think that's fantastic, super, a lot of fun. It's not necessarily driving me to think anything's great. Now, I do have it on the border of good niche and solid. You know, it's weird. It's almost like it's between skip, good niche, and solid. Like, I feel like if I had a spot for all of that, that's where it would go. I'm very much more interested in a Beta Ray Bill. I formerly call Obsidian. That might be falling a little bit. Super Giant, fantastic. And then some of these other ones down here for the discard, I still think could be something I'd eye first. So right now, that's where we got the spotlight. So let's look at some tools that can be used with this. Now, I want to give a giant shout out to Drewberry. He's a fantastic content creator. My cat's over there just ripping up the, I don't know what it's doing. What are you guys doing over there? I'm trying to shoot a video. Hey, don't be doing that. Sorry about that. Side note, I am totally leaving that in the video. So Drewberry did a analysis here for some things that could work together. I do like the Ravana because it does make Grandmaster cheaper. I like the Thor. I like the Beta Ray Bills. I like the hammers that come out where you could potentially reproc all of these things. That could be interesting. Odin along with that. Surfer for sure. Ghost Rider. I think Ghost Rider is one of my favorite combinations because you get Ghost Rider to do it once in one lane. You get a big card out. You get Ghost Rider to go to another lane and do that. That's probably my favorite combination. Again, leaning towards discard. I'm liking it. Surfer. If Surfer's, I mean, typically you save Surfer for late. So maybe you don't get Wong, or maybe you do. You play Surfer on Wong. You've got 2 spots there. You get Surfer to go twice. Then you get Grandmaster down there. Oh, wait, but no, Silver Surfer needs to move mid. So I don't know if I love this Surfer synergy, honestly, because of the fact that Surfer plays late. And also, these cats are hilarious. Surfer needs to have some lanes filled. So unless you have a spot in lane, the middle lane, it's not going to happen. Again, Odin goes for like. So this one on the left-hand side where we've got Psylocke, sure. We already talked about Ravonna. Ironheart, yep, I like it. You know, Mystique's just copying on ongoing type cards. We've got Magic. Mr. Negative, I mean, I don't know, maybe you Alioth something? I don't know. I'm not loving that. Jane, I'm not seeing myself wanting to Jane because you're already pulling the zeros over. Mr. Negative is easily contested with Mobius, and you're not moving either your Null or you're not pulling your Iron Man. Maybe, I guess, if you have middle blank and you Zola on the right, I don't know. I mean, Zola's already... I mean, I guess maybe you could move Zola if you put a Iron Man mid with your Zola and your Zola stays right. But again, that means you need to turn 7. That stuff's easily contested. So I struggle a little bit with some of this. Individually, I like some of the cards just at a service value, but I struggle some. The Asgard stuff, I do like that. With Thor, Beta Ray Bill, I think that's great. Iron Lad, I mean, if maybe... I mean, I think if... does Iron Lad on reveal again? I mean, can you reproc an Iron Lad to become a different card? I've actually not played around with that. Doom, for sure. But again, you need turn 7 or a ramp. Jane, no. I don't think Jane's going to help there. This is a deck, again, that plays with this. So these are deck types, you know. But I'm trying to find a way to... Storm? You know, maybe you storm a lane and then you play Grandmaster. But you're storing a lane on 3 and you're playing a Grandmaster on 4... What other 2 are you going to play on 4 there? Zabu? All right, well, you've got 2 in your previously stormed lane. These cats are seriously loving this office right now. I'll show them one day. Like and subscribe if you want to see cats in the future. Hammer down like buttons, etc. But, I mean, Beta Ray Bill, again, procking more hammers, but unless you get those... I mean, that could be interesting where you proc, say, like, 4 hammers, and then you Jane it down, and then you lay all the hammers down on Wong. So spread out your Thors, spread out your Beta Ray Bills... Maybe your Iron Lad gets one of the Thor's Beta Ray Bills. That could be fun. I could see that for sure. The Doom, again, you're not getting an extended turn there, and you've got no ramp here. So, you know, outside of pulling a 4 early. So, I don't know. I think there's some potential there. Consistent wins feels tough. This is one of the other ones I'm seeing besides those other 2 is Bounce. Bast, I don't know if I really care. Forge, sure, great. Hood, sure. Nico, maybe. Falcon, I think it depends. Like, if because you're filling up your lanes and you're gonna have a lot of on reveals on the left or the right. You got to be careful with that, because what if Falcon pulls back your demon you've already got out there? Oof, gosh, I don't love that. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, Bast, throw it back. Oof, do I care? If I'm collecting, yes, that's great. I can use Falcon to double collect. Cool, very awesome. Beast, I mean, yeah, Beast isn't so bad. You know, maybe I got something mid and I want to beast more. That could be cool. Is it going to be a wide enough lane? Is there going to be enough opportunity to be able to get all those back into your deck or back into your hand and still be able to play a lot of things? That's the question that I've got. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm still not to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, this is just going to be... I think it's going to have some opportunities for cool plays, no doubt. So now let's look at something else. All right, our friends at Snap.fan have a nice article if you want to check it out. A little bit of lore. They've got some cards in here that we've talked about. Now, Absorbing Man, I think that could be an interesting thing to play. We talked about Odin already. Some sequence of events here that maybe you could play around with. We talked about Iron Lad. We talked about Bleep P. Spider-Woman is not one we've talked about. I could see that being sort of fun, where you do it on one lane and then on turn 6, you do it to another lane. I think that could be really, really fun. I like that more than some of the other ones I'm saying, because a 5/8 and the stuff she does, and that means on turn 6 you still got a 4-cost card you could play that could be pretty solid. And if you've already played up to turn 5 and controlled mid pretty well, leave one spot open for Spider-Woman, could be pretty good. But again, Cosmo's lurking out there, so you got to be careful. Silver Surfer, we talked about that. Jubilee, yeah, similar to what we were talking about with Ghost Rider. I could see Jubilee being solid. Talked about all these. Wolfsbane, maybe. I mean, I think you could definitely get a decent sized Wolfsbane out. That could be fun, especially when we're talking about Silver Surfer. You know, maybe you play around with that a little bit. Your Wolfsbane gets pretty solid. Strange, I could play it. Now, this is one we haven't talked about a bit, is move. This is one of the things that we're going to see out there is moving. Getting reprocs on Ghost Spider. But wait a minute. Ghost Spider, why? What's the last card that I played? Grandmaster. That's a waste of time to me. Iron Fist, next card played, sure. I could see that where it's like, okay, it reprocs. So that way, if you got another card you want to play late, maybe move it into Craven or something like that. I like it. Maybe Craven's mid, you move Iron Fist into Craven. Not so bad. Cloak, like that. Doctor Strange, again, like that. Wave, I do like Wave, honestly. You get the opportunity on 3, you play Wave. You play a good solid card on 4. But wait a minute. Then on 5, you'd play your Grandmaster on Wave and move Wave mid. I mean, it could reduce some cost. So maybe instead of just playing 1 card on turn 6, you could play your 6 as a 4 cost and another 2 cost card or something maybe. Or maybe you're playing your Scar and that's already cheap. So it's 4 and, you know, or that's maybe a 0 or a 2 and you change one of your 6s to a 4. Now you can play the Scar at 2 and your other cost, your other high card at 4. I like that. Lockjaw, I think synergy there. Yeah, that could make sense just to move some things around. You know, cycling through and pulling a card out. I think with Lockjaw, I'd like that. You know, maybe you've got an on reveal that landed on Lockjaw and you want to move it mid. I think that could be pretty good. Sarah just is good. We talked about Ravonna being cheaper. Wong, obviously. Cosmo, the counter, the echoes. I could see that. Camertage. These are just locations they're talking about. So they talked about some decks on this one, and then we're going to go over to our friends over at Marvel Snap Zone to check the decks they've got. We talked about the Thor. Again, look for Beta Ray Bill, Absorbing Man. That makes sense. I would look for Zabu here. I mean, look at the 4s. Jubilee, Wong, Absorbing Man, Iron Lad. A lot of 4s there. A lot of 4s there. I would maybe think about ditching Wave there. I'm not sure I mean, you can ramp into one of these to get it sooner. I get it, but Grand Finisher here. What do we got here? This is just Sarah with some I like the Shang-Chi plays. Now, Shang-Chi could be interesting where if somebody's got the ability to Shang, you got a lot opponent playing a lot of big cards, which is sort of the meta right now. Getting Shang to go mid as well. I had somebody who rolled a 50-50 on a Shang with a Zola, and I had 10s and 20s all over the board. They Shanged me left, and then they Zola that late and destroyed my whole board. I was like, wow, just wow. Okay, so being able to do that consistently and making it go mid, I think that's pretty cool. Same thing with Enchantress. Getting multiple ongoings taken out, I think is pretty sweet. Gladiator, Grandmaster and Gladiator. I like a lot of the ongoings here. You know, maybe Ronin, right? Maybe we want to look at a Ronin, or you know what? Let's make a Ronin deck with this Grandmaster with Maximus and a Master Mold. I would look at that. That could be a lot of fun. That way you give someone else a lot of cards. You know, maybe with Devil Dinosaur as well. You're getting cards in your own hand. I think something there could be played with very nicely. Masterfully moving. Yeah, I think maybe the Doctor Strange here. Again, I don't love the Ghost Spider one because I think it's going to proc and move the Grandmaster mid, and I just don't love that. Unless it procs to the card prior to Grandmaster, which I don't think it should. That doesn't make sense to me. I like the Iron Fist. I like the Forge. I like Doctor Strange. Maybe Falcon, but I'd really only be playing Falcon if I'm playing with Collector. You know, maybe you'll get the Beast moved around or the Vulture moved around. Maybe getting the Beast as well. I think that's interesting. This one a little bit different. Surfing. Sarah Miracle, again, Brood, you're going to have to do left, you know, or right. Whatever lane you're not going to Grandmaster, I think you could maybe play around with that a little bit. But you're going to have to leave your mid open. That could make for Sebastian Shaw fun. I could see that. This deck I would definitely play around with, and I like quite a bit. Grand Negative, this is one of the ones that seemed to be something that Drewberry was looking at. I don't know. I mean, yes, Mr. Negative is great for Darkhawk. It's great for Iron Man. It's great. I mean, really everything other than Jane in this deck is benefited, and Ravonna is benefits from this. But, I mean, how's Grandmaster going to help me here? Rock Slide, yes. Ironheart, yes. Black Panther, maybe. Zola, I'm interested to see how people pull that off. But again, I mean, I suppose you could Zola something. If it's 0 cost with Mr. Negative and you Grandmaster it, playing a lot of cards, that could get interesting. But again, there's a reason Mr. Negative has not been super popular, right? And then there's some 1 week later stuff where we'll see what happens with Beta Ray Bill, etc. All right, so let's finish with our friends over at Marvel Snap Zone. All right, Glazer has been putting in work as far as making some decks for this. So you see some discard here, which you didn't see a lot of before. I do like the discard. I mentioned that. Gambit, a great addition. Dakin, great addition. Throw an additional Muramasa shard into your hand. I think it's wonderful. You're getting things with Morbius built up. You're getting Meek built up. You get something with MODOK late. Swarm, I think, is absolute necessity. Collector, maybe. I like the idea of it because of the Swarm and potential multiple times MODOKing. My concern is it might get a little clunky with some of these other cards that you want to play on the 2-3 range. So for that reason, I think that might be getting a little greedy, but we'll see. I don't know if I'd want Hellcarrier or not. I think that could help because if you discard it, you get some additional cards to potentially discard with MODOK, etc. But I don't know if I'd maybe play with something like well, in Wong, I feel like a lot of times I've played with Wong and discard it feels clunky, but something to think about. Bounce move, we talked about these a little bit. He throws Kyra in here to protect some of your ones. We'll see how this shakes out. I've already kind of given my thoughts on that. Thor's bounce. I've not seen these combined yet. Yellow Jacket I don't like. I think it's an interesting card, but you got to play that somewhere late. Well, no, early in a card that's got nothing. Iceman, Spider-Ham could be fun. Nico potentially fun. Forge, Beasting, multiple things to get a lot of free cards to get Hitmonkey moved around. That could be fun, where you get Hitmonkey and you move Hitmonkey, it procs, and then you play a lot of cards with the Grandmaster when it does that. I think that could be really nice. Thor, Beta Ray Bill. I feel like the Werewolf by Night could also build here. There's something brewing here a little bit. Jane, I like the idea of. I would maybe look at... Yeah, no, I think Jane. This is Beta Ray build. This could be a fun deck in a week for sure. I like this. I'd maybe play around with that some. Beasting some of these ones to get them for 0 cost could be a lot of fun to get that Hitmonkey up. So you've got opportunities to get Hitmonkey big, Werewolf big, Thor and Beta Ray Bill big. That's really what you're looking at to do there. And you're going to use your other cards to be able to do it. GM Herc. Grandmaster Herc. Again, this mixes in move a little bit. You've got your Heimdall there, your Hercules to bounce things around like your Dagger, your Human Torch. I like that. And your Vulture. Maybe you bounce things into your Kraven, or maybe you're playing Kraven mid. Maybe you've got your Hercules left. So that way things are bouncing out of there. I could see some potential in this, but again, I still don't love the Ghost Spider play because I get worried about what that's going to do, but maybe that can help proc things to mid. I don't know. We'll see. I feel like it could clog things up too much. Let's see. We got another move deck here. This is with Surfer, Benjamin Roland, Surfer move 2. Similar thoughts that we gave before. Let's see, a Grand Surfer. I like the Goose play in this one. You've got the Storm that you could potentially fill up. Maybe you Storm and you do your Brood on that lane. That way you don't stress about it, so you're not really trying to necessarily move the Grandmaster or move the Storm, but it could be something that's not so bad. Lockjaw. You know, we talked about that a little bit. Evo Wave Grandmaster. Oh, man, what are we doing with our Grandmaster here? Waving. But again, then just, yeah, I don't know if I like this. I mean, it helps get your Sunspot up and Cyclops, I guess. I could see that. Where you're instead of playing your 6-cost card on 6, you're playing a 4-cost card. And your Sunspot's getting points, your Cyclops is proccing, your Misty Knight's doing some work. So yeah, I could see some potential with that for sure. Your Hulk's maybe getting bigger, which is awesome. So I do like that. One card we have not talked about is Valkyrie. I would like to see the Valkyrie move. That could be fun. Quake as well. Maybe you're really playing some games of Quake. I think that could be fun. This is a Cerebro 3. So maybe you're, you know, but again, you play Valk on 5, then on 6, you're playing Grandmaster and 2 2s. So you're talking about Jeff, Quake, Ravona's late at that point, maybe another Sentinel. So that means you've got to play your Cerebro on 3 and or 4. It means you're maybe not Mystiquing it, but you do have the magic to extend it, which is probably going to be critical. It'll be interesting to see if that works. I do like the idea of Valkyrie being moved around a little bit. It's really, I mean, besides Quake and Sentinel, I don't know. I mean, I do like the idea that you can Valk your Grandmaster. Maybe, I guess. No, you can't. You can't Valk your Grandmaster. That's going to stay 0 regardless. So, look, you've seen some of the stuff that's out there. I'm not going to keep... I've given you a lot of decks. This video ended up being way longer than I was planning on. This is one of the things I want to do for you guys, though, is, you know, I don't want to, you know, have this argument about whose decks who. I'm just going to try to cover a lot of decks that are out there. Try to be like a go-to source for stuff that is out there that you could find, collect it a little bit, and share with you. So, a lot of good creators out there. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I still, after all of this, I think it's a mid card at best. I'm happy to say I'm wrong if I am wrong later, but it has a high ceiling. You know, it could be good. Just like Mr. Negative can be insanely good as far as a deck type. I think Grandmaster can have a high ceiling when you get the nuts and you can play it. But is that going to allow you to be able to do what you need to win games? We'll see. So again, appreciate you making this far. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.